Please like, subscribe, and be sure to click that bell button for regular and exciting indie film content and your chance to be the first to engage with the Liftoff Global Network of Film Festivals as we embark on launching the careers of the filmmakers of tomorrow.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's stream. Today we are joined by three filmmakers who picked up the Audience Choice Award from the Tokyo Liftoff Film Festival. We are joined by Mo, Jean-Louis and Thor. Welcome guys so much. It would be fantastic to get to know you a little bit better. So why don't we start with you, Jean-Louis. Why don't you tell us who you are and what your project was?
Okay, so my name is Jean-Louis Zan. I'm a French director. I'm living in Canarias in Fuerteventura Island. And I shot my second movie, Bad Luck. And before I did one feature documentary called Jody do Brasil, shot in Rio de Janeiro.
Fantastic.
And so, yes, so this is my first festival in Tokyo for Bad Luck.
Well done. Well, I can't wait to find out a little bit more about the story. Thor, let's move over to you. Let's find out a little bit more about who you are and your project.
Hi, my name is Thor Singh, and I'm a Danish writer-director of the movie Ground Control. Yeah.
Nice.
Happy
well,
to be here.
We're going to start with your film, so hold your tongue before we get fully into it. But I'm super excited by this film, and when we first saw it, we had lots to talk about. So we'll be asking you quite a few questions. And then finally, we have Mo. Hi, Mo. Welcome. Tell us a little bit more about...
Hi, Natalie. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and your project, please.
I'm an American filmmaker, and I specialize in making short films infused with music, which I have also created, which is lyrics-driven, but commercial sound-based to have a wider audience. The music is always fast, but the lyrics are slow. So I slow walk the lyrics across a fast bed of music, and then express that through visuals that reflect and amplify the ideas that I have, which I have put into my shall we say message or my narrative. So that's how I approach it, and the music is released through Universal Music Group, so it's out worldwide.
Amazing.
In concert with I never do the film until I've released the music, and then worldwide, and then I do the film. And I've been lucky to be able to connect with the modern audience that I think people have very short attention spans, and you have to talk to them directly. And my inspiration is the Beatles.
Cool.
When the Beatles arrived, they said, "Why are we singing yesterday's songs? Why are we using yesterday's language? Why are we using yesterday's imagery?" Well, of course, they had been turned down 63 times by then, for good reason, right? That the world, I mean, the institutions that would platform them were not accepting them. But 63 turndowns later, the dam broke, and the world,
and the rest is history, really.
The music world was never the same again. So, I think that cinema and the music industry, as institutions, that are now late to the game, or late to the party. That previously institutions led the people, and now the people are leading the institutions. So that's my take on the evolution of culture.
Amazing. Well, we will be watching your music video and delving way deeper into your story and how it all came around. But before we do that, we're going to start with Thor's project, Ground Control. So I'm just going to load it up on the system. So in a moment, for those that are watching live, we'll be able to see the film. It will be muted, and we'll be having a director-style commentary over the top of it. But for those that are watching, I'm Natalie. I'm the general manager here at Liftoff, and this is Libby.
I'm Liberty, new to Liftoff.
Yes, so this is the first stream that Libby is doing, which is the Directors Roundtable. So this will be good. This will be fun. And then the final thing to note is the chat room is open. So if you do have any questions for our filmmakers, please put it in the chat room, and we will do our best to get those answered throughout the duration of today's video. Perfect. So I'm just going to get Thor, your film started here. There we go. So that is now playing in the background, and you'll be able to see that if you're watching in a moment's time. But take us back to the beginning. Take us right back. What was the inspiration, and why did you want to make this film?
I think my process starts with my own experiences, which in this case is very much about control and mental vulnerability. That for me, in my start 20s, got more apparent and had a bigger effect on me. So that was very much my starting point, like the relationship between control and mental vulnerability. And from there on, I start like the framework is my own experiences. So I have like the frame of the story is very much as the main character. That's the way I do it. And from there, I try to push the narrative and push the story in a way that I imagined like what would have happened if when you wake up at a
psychiatric unit.
Thank you very much.
No, it's okay. It's a hard word to say.
If you, even waking up at a place like that, and then still being too stubborn to acknowledge that you might have some inner problems, that was like the narrative starting point. Okay, let's see how we can push this. So yeah, that's how I came up with the story.
Amazing. And this project was made during film school, is that correct?
It's not at a film school, but I go to university.
Oh, okay.
So it's not. So I study philosophy, which maybe also like is intertwined with my themes, at least underlying. But yeah, in that sense, it is like I'm in school.
Yeah, incredible. First, is this your first project?
It's my third short film.
Okay.
And I've been doing some smaller films up until this is my first, like a little bit more expansive production, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we started to speak about it when you first joined on because I'm so excited by the fact that this is shot on film. And I think for a filmmaker to take the risk to shoot on film, one, it always, not always, but 90% of the time pays off, especially with the visuals that it can provide. Was this 16mm?
Yeah, we shot on 16mm, which for me also was like I think a childhood dream to shoot on film. It was so exciting, but also very, very scary. I think being like doing it for the first time at least. And we shot. We only shot 500T, which is I think in Denmark it's called ISO, but in America I think it's called ASA.
Yeah.
Like how much light it takes.
Yeah, the ISO. We say ISO in the UK as well.
Okay, ISO. That makes it easier for me at least. But,
yeah.
So we only shot on that, which is like the maximum we could get of grain and texture, because we wanted it to be like really gritty and complement the universe, which is my take on like a more cold, pessimistic Copenhagen. That was like what I wanted to the kind of universe for the story. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel we should use like with digital as well. The camera is there to aid tell the story, and I think film can do that so beautifully by adding sometimes the dark and miserable tones, but it can also do the opposite where it becomes dreamlike. With depending on the ISO and the exposure and the type of film that you're using, you can't beat it. You just cannot beat it for me. So I know it's a personal opinion and I am biased, but when I saw it, I was just like, this is amazing.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the film itself and the performances from the actors. Did you have any questions?
I was going to bring in the acting. So it was so naturalistic, and especially the relationship between Louis and Chan. I found so interesting, kind of the dynamics between that. What was the rehearsal period like?
Like with Magnus Juhl Andersen, who plays the main character Louis, we had a really close relationship. We didn't know each other beforehand, but I got him onto the project very early on, so we could really like get into it and have a lot of conversations about a lot of things that also we didn't use, but like we made a storage of ideas and being able to talk through. And then in the end, we probably drifted a little bit away and did what made sense on the set. But also, like, in order to shoot on film, we rehearsed a lot and did a lot of decision making before production. So I mean, I was really happy to work with Magnus. I think he did but I'm biased, but I think he did a really good job.
Is it a long process?
I think when he got on, maybe it was a little under half a year before shooting.
Oh wow!
Wow. Well, it's paid off.
Oh, I think I just froze.
You have. But we can still hear you. Oh, as you can. Thor, can you hear us? Oh no. Oh, I think we can hear you. Oh, you're back. You're back.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you. Oh no. Thor, can you not hear us? Oh no. Mo, Jean-Louis, are you still there?
Si, oui,
Si.
yes.
I'm here. Yes.
Oh no. Well, we'll give Thor a moment to sort his camera out. But yeah, like we were just saying, for us, the performances in this film are incredible. Are you back?
I think so.
You
Sorry
think so?
for the.
No, it's
I'm
it's
sitting
totally
right next
fine.
to the router.
It's fine. It happens. So you mentioned that you did a lot of rehearsal with the actors and managed to build a relationship, which is fantastic. How did you find them? Where did you cast them?
The main character, he was. I had a friend who worked with him that told me that he was really interesting, and
Perfect.
I should definitely take a look at him. In the beginning, I thought he was a little bit too pretty for me. Just because, I don't know, it was kind of like another version of me. But then I met with him, and then he was just really a great guy. And I think he had the depth of an actor that I really wanted to work with. And for like some of the other cast, like I think especially Jan, who is played by Anders Mosling, he's kind of he's pretty well known, at least in Denmark. And he's really, I saw some comedy sketches he did in a famous Danish television show where he's really funny. And I thought, because the dad is Swedish, and my own, what's it called, like the girlfriend's father.
Okay.
Like in my own life, he's also Swedish, which I thought would add to like the kind of they talking, like they're not on the same wavelength. So that Anders was Swedish was like just an extra bonus that made it, I think, even harder to communicate.
Nice. Great. Fantastic. Cool. And so, moving forward then, how has the film been doing on the festival circuit?
So far, this is our first festival.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But this was also, I think we applied for Tokyo Liftoff Festival at like the last moment. So we have sent it out to different festivals around Europe, also some other Liftoff festivals.
Okay, great. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, please do.
So you're waiting to hear back now? You're waiting to see?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
exactly.
such like a nerve-wracking time waiting to hear back from festivals to see, one, if you'll get to go and see your film. Have you seen it on the big screen yet?
We did a premiere at a Danish cinema, which was really, it's such a different experience to see your own film like on a big screen. So
Nothing beats it, especially the first viewing, and you have all your friends, family, everyone there. I'm glad to hear you've seen it there, but more festival screenings will come your way. I'm 100% sure of it, especially the fact that it's been Season Award nominated with us for Best First Time Film is like insane. So really, I can't wait to see you hopefully here at Pinewood in January if it all goes to plan. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Is there any scope for turning it into a feature or not?
Yes, a little bit. I hope to expand the narrative because afterwards I did some community service, something I left out of the film, which I would like to expand the character and the narrative at some point. We'll see if it works out. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely be interested to see what happens next in the story. Great. So was there a moment in your career, was there a moment in your life where you knew that being a filmmaker was something that you really wanted to do? Was there a particular film or some sort of art that inspired you to want to get into this industry?
Yeah, definitely. For me, I started out making films before knowing about like the great directors, because I started doing like parkour skate videos. So I learned the technical stuff that way.
Amazing.
But then like gradually my film interest took over the parkour skate interest.
Yeah.
And so for this film, I think my biggest inspirations are Lynn Ramsey from Scotland.
Yep.
And also from the Taiwanese New Wave, Edward Yang and Hu Xiaoshen are really big inspirations for me.
Yeah, I need to get more on board with this new wave that's coming through. I've seen moments of it, but I haven't really sat down and engaged in it properly. Is there a particular film that you're just like you have to see?
For me, if I can only choose one film that I have to watch again, I would say Yi Yi from Edward Yang.
Okay.
An amazing film.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and find that. I love hearing new things from filmmakers, so I'm definitely going to stop and look at that as well. So what's next? What is next for you?
I'm writing a new short film currently, and which I also want to shoot on 60mm because it's hard to go back when you've done it once, and it went well also with the process.
There, from start to finish.
Yeah, we sent to Cinelab, which worked out really well in the end, but it was so nerve-wracking. But we're doing it again for a new short film. And after that, I think I want to start writing my first feature. That would be really nice.
Then would you feel that you're ready to take that bigger jump into feature, or do you feel you're there already?
Like, I think I will be, and I hope, but it's a big step, I think. So hopefully I'll be there after the next short film.
Amazing. Well, let us know when you're processing at Cinelab, and we'll see what we can do regarding that. The team is so great there, Andy and everyone, Adrian and everyone else. So yeah, perfect. Before we move on then to Mo's film, do Mo or Jean-Louis have any questions for Thor?
No, I don't have any.
No? Okay. No, well, in that case, we're still blown away. Do you have any final thoughts?
One last thing was there was a really beautiful scene when Louis was looking through lots of mirrors. That scene just really struck out to me. What was the kind of general symbol of that scene? I've been thinking about it a lot and trying to work it out.
Like the meaning of the scene, kind of?
It seemed very rich with meaning.
Yeah, first off, I would say that we really like this, but people think it's like an effect, but it's actually just a corridor. So it's and we saw it, and we knew we wanted to use it, but we didn't know exactly how. But for me, it's like the passage. It's like a recurring theme, like a visual theme, with the passageway where he goes from one point to another. And in the beginning, we are led up to him, and in the end, like he's walking out the passage. And for that particular clip, it's the only one where he's stopping where he's like being, I think he's confused of which way to go. So that's my take on it. Yeah, I hope it's understandable.
Yeah, definitely. That's really interesting.
Yeah, we spoke about this shot for quite a while. Just it's beautiful, and I think it's either about to or has just been on the stream. Again, I love stuff like that and seeing it captured.
Moments of detail, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much for joining, and we are going to move on to the next film now. But if you have any questions for the other filmmakers as we go on the other films, please feel free to jump on and ask questions. Perfect. Okay, cool. So moving on then. So we're going to start next with Download My Heart in the Universe. So Mo, tell us a little bit more about the inspiration as I load it up this side.
Well, Download My Heart in the Metaverse. If you want to go far back into my inspiration, you have Stanley Kubrick, 2001: Space Odyssey, where where you have the computer is a malevolent entity and institution controlled, and today everything is now in the hands of the computers, in the hands of the people, and the masses, individualized. So you now have empowerment of the individual. So the more empowerment of the individual that you have, the more of a balance there is between malevolent forces and positive forces. So previously I for example, did a collaboration with Facebook Meta in London, the London headquarters, in 2019, to create the world's first social media enabling art. What is that? It was based on the hashtag Queen's Throne, which is a Botticelli meets Fabergé kind of Hollywood set that you would find at Pinewood Studios for the Disney movies. And in the setting of a art gallery in London, in Mayfair, the visitor to the art gallery is not just a visitor now, but also a visiting artist. So that when you sit in the throne, you create your own movies and your own selfies, and you share that live with the world. So it's and so I collaborate with them officially. They took the artwork into their own headquarters on 10 Brock Street for 10 months, and their own ambassadors would sit in it, and their guests and so on, creating new art within a matrix art. And I also collaborate with Twitter headquarters in London on Eyre Street for their annual event day with the same artwork. So I come from this empowering of the individual model, and that we should use today's language rather than yesterday's language. And my film, Download My Heart in the Metaverse, explores this and celebrates the Web3, or the advent of Web3, through video games are the first chapter of that unfolding new reality. I'm developing a new game called a dual reality game, Shio hashtag Queen Superhero, so that she sings in real life for real, which is disseminated worldwide through Universal Music, and so she raises awareness for her actions against gangs and bad guys in the game, through the real world.
Nice.
So she's a kind of Tarzan James Bond character that doesn't, and is modern in the sense she doesn't kill people. She just immobilizes them. And I collaborated with David Begbie, a famous English sculptor, who does mesh sculptures that are at Wimbledon and the Natural History Museum and so on. And the Mesh Man is a statue who then knocks out the rifle of a shooter who wants to kill Shio. So the the film explores and celebrates our involvement, our direct involvement with with Web3 enabled computer relationships. So that's what it is. It's about. It's a celebration in
Absolutely.
word and music and visuals.
And this is all for Web3, or is it also for?
Well, we are in a transition
I know,
now.
I know.
Web3 is effectively we're looking at. Web2 is looking at the computer, and Web3 is being in it. I mean, looking at the screen, and Web3 is being in the screen. So we are in that transition right now.
Absolutely.
We have to go this direction because there is no other technology that's taken shape. So, all civilization moves according to technological innovations. All culture is a reflection of technological evolution.
When we look at the time frame of this evolution into Web3, I know it's already here, and I know the younger generations and those that are brave enough are taking part in it. But when do you think that it will become our day-to-day?
Well, it's probably a 10-year process.
10-year process.
Until it's adopted, and there will be so many applications of it. Being made as we speak. That it will take time, but the blockchain methodology of computing and ascertaining transactions is going to be dominant, and it'll allow us more freedom at the end of the day. It's just a technology. It has good and bad in it, like any technology, like anything else. But we should adopt it because everything is constricted. Is going to be you're going to have to be involved in that in order to do what you want to do, whether it's filmmaking, music making, banking, business, whatever. There it is.
Yeah.
It's the new lingua franca.
Absolutely. So everyone get ready. Mm-hmm. Everyone get ready for the change. Great. That was a lot of information that you were telling us all about your project there. And obviously we've spoken before about Download My Heart in London. So not only do you have the piece that is for the metaverse, but you also have it worldwide. We can see the poster behind you that says Download My Heart in Los Angeles.
Right.
And your other cities.
Yes, I did the original song Download My Heart 3-4 years ago. BBC played it, and so as Download My Heart, which is modern speak for I Love You. And then I applied as the world's first app songs. So I have Download My Heart in New York, Download My Heart in London, Download My Heart in LA now, Download My Heart in Dubai, and Download My Heart in the metaverse. So it's a language that allows me to explore dimensions of these great cities, just like Liftoff is into multiple cities, right?
Absolutely,
so a traditional film festival is just one city, one time, one place. That's it. You are spread out globally across, so you yourself are a kind of film festival app.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess so.
In effect. And I'm talking to we wrote to the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, and he liked what he saw and of Download My Heart in London, and passed it on to his group that is in charge of London international and national national tourism revival post-COVID. And we are now dealing with Antonia Lee, who is in charge of that section.
Fantastic. Great. Amazing.
Yeah. How's it going on the festival circuit?
Many festivals have taken our films because we have 44 festivals, something like that.
Wow.
in a year and 2 months. Taking the films and showing them and selecting them and various prizes because it's fun, it's fast, it's short, and it speaks to present day culture that people are working with in a very fun way, but also at the same time educational way. There's no bad language in the lyrics. There's no negativity. It's positive, and I think the world needs more of that.
Absolutely. We've
And
just
it's
had
very danceable.
yeah,
Very catchy.
very catchy.
Yeah,
It
we were
gets stuck
saying
in your
that.
head. It gets stuck, definitely. You came in humming it. And I was like,
Yeah.
what are you humming? So well done.
Thank you. That's a great compliment. It's catchy by design.
Yeah.
Um,
So actually, a question has just come in here. So it says, for Mo, when you wrote Download My Heart series, did you have in mind sharing the video and songs with these places to help tourism? How do you see the metaverse changing the way we use digital? So we kind of touched upon that just then, but that just came in.
yes. Yeah, I think we've touched on exactly on these, that a kind of cross fertilization.
Absolutely.
I mean, if the movie can be, if it's any good, you should be able to use it, right? I mean, not just to put it like a book on a shelf and glorify the look of the book. You should be able to consume it in some way, and it should make your life better, or you should appreciate your day or your moment better, to inspire you to do more and better. If it does that, it's done its job.
So you mentioned that you've got a lot of things going on here in London with the potential of working with the people that you mentioned, which is fantastic. But what else are you working on? Is there another Download My Heart coming out soon? Or you also mentioned the video
no.
game. But
Yes, the video, we're concentrating the video game, so to come out in September, October, and we're looking for
okay.
a distribution partner for it. We're developing it with 30 levels. It's a runner game. It's a runner fighter game, but
Fun.
in a novel way. As I said, a Tarzan James Bond female character who
Perfect.
does not kill her opponents, just immobilizes them and gets the information out of them in order to shut down the gangs and the bad guys that she has to deal with. And at the same time, she sings in real life for real.
Great. You mentioned that the music industry is an industry that you've been in for a while. But it was a question that I asked Thor as well. I find it fascinating to understand why people choose to be in this industry. So what moment did you realize that the music industry or the film industry was the career that you wanted to pursue?
Well, in my case, I'm a multi-genre artist.
Yeah.
I'm an inventor myself. I mean, an inventor who has 9 American patents in video on demand and satellite technology. I licensed Apple Corporation in 2012.
Amazing.
AT&T, EchoStar, DirecTV. I mean, so that was my earlier life as a technology inventor. So in order to do culture creation, if you will, you need both the visual and the audio part.
Yeah.
So the music industry is the audio part. If you want your soundtrack or your words, in my case, the songs are all lyrics driven. They ride the music like a rider on a horse. Whereas in normal music, there's nothing to say, anything new to say. So the words are infused into music. You don't know what's the music. It's a mash. It's a soup. Whereas ours are very clear. The words lead, and yet lead in a fun way, right? Not a didactic over your head way.
Yeah.
And so the music industry disseminates my words worldwide, and the music and the film festival disseminate my imagery worldwide, and the two correlate and are symbiotic and synergize each other.
Yeah. Wow. Before we move on then, thank you so much. That was like a perfect answer. Thank you. Before we move on, Thor, Jean-Louis, do you have any questions for Mo?
No, just it was very interesting. Thank you.
Perfect. Yes, go for it, Thor.
Yeah, I was wondering when I watched it, and it's very interesting as well. I think, how do you like working with special effects, and like, do you do a lot of storyboarding beforehand, or like, what's your process with working with the effects?
Good question.
The effects are minimal. I don't like to use. I mean, it's, Download My Heart in the Metaverse has a lot of effects because it's the metaverse. So and it that's its genre and natural place. But otherwise, no. Just very things that we shoot and things that we get others who have shot to, and marry the two to be able to say something visually, and deliver the meaning, greater meaning to the lyrics.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Right, so we're going to move on to Jean-Louis' film, who's been sitting very patiently waiting for his project to come on.
Okay.
Here we go. So I'm going to start it this side here. Why don't you take us right back to the beginning, and why did you want to make this film?
Why? Because I think the world is crazy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see it by myself. So to do a world tour and to do something, a mix of documentary and fiction. So before to go, I wrote a script, and my inspiration also is coming from the Nouvelle Vague in France. Yeah?
Yep.
Nouvelle Vague, Jean-Luc Godard, François Truffaut, who were making film with a lot of freedom, small crew, shooting in the street, no equipment. And so I was thinking it's the best way to have something like a mix of documentary and to meet people and to see what are the problems in different countries. And also my inspiration was coming from my 3 books I wrote. I wrote 3 books with the same personage. My personage, my hero, is a screenwriter from Hollywood. He's black, he's gay, and each time he's going in a different country for his work, and each time he's having a lot of problems. So, and in my first book, he was sent to Bahamas to write a script, and he had big problems. And the second time, he went to Francia in environment of horses and racing horses.
Yep.
And he had also big problem with racism, homophobia. And in my first book, he was in Florida, and he directed a feature movie in Florida, and he's having more and more problems. So I think after I wrote a documentary in Brazil, and I sent my hero during the carnival in Rio de Janeiro, and I mix his life in Rio with politics, with the old cinema novel from the 60s. And so I made a documentary. It was my first feature film, but a documentary.
Yeah.
And in this one, I said, maybe he should go in many countries, make a big tour, and to see what is going in different countries, like in Argentina, Japan, Australia. And he had a big adventure because he was looking for a bad boy also. He was like a justicier also. So it was the inspiration mix of Nouvelle Vague, my books, and this crazy world.
Wow. You mentioned that you went on a world tour. How many places did you visit to shoot this film?
I think 23 countries.
Whoa.
8 months.
8 months.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
wow, that must have been intense.
Intense and fantastic,
Of course.
very rich, very rich.
So, with each country, there must have been some sort of hurdle or obstacle that you had to overcome in order to get this project made. What was the main obstacle that you had to overcome?
It was improvisation because I met people I didn't knew and with different situation, different problems. So I had to be very fast to write and to adapt my script and to make it more interesting because I met interesting people
Of
in
course.
very beautiful locations.
So you mentioned there that you had to adapt your script quite a bit when you met new people. When you look at your script, was it a traditional feature-length script where everything is written out, or was it more of a feature-length structure where you could then improvise and toy around plot point moments that you had to achieve?
Yes, I make a construction,
Yeah.
but I leave many open space.
Yeah, perfect.
And because I knew I was meeting people, but I organize also small casting
Okay.
with actors and friends before to go.
Mm.
But I met also on location, for example, in Japan, actors also, and so it was a very rich experience for me because nothing was completely finished before I start and I travel.
Yeah.
So it was open movie mix of documentary and fiction, and the difficulty was to find the balance between documentary and fiction.
Yeah, a huge challenge, a massive challenge. And since how long did it take you from start to finish?
I finished it during the COVID period because I traveled before the COVID period,
Yeah.
and I finished it like in 2 years because I didn't want to launch my movie when it was everything was closed. So I took my time and I did like maybe 20 different edits,
Yeah.
editing,
Yeah.
because I had so many material. I could do maybe like 3, 4 different movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. That's the hardest part. Like, you shoot so much, especially if you're
Yeah.
improvising. There must have been thousands of hours worth of content that you shot. Getting it down to the 90 minutes that you have, it's tough.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, it's tough when you have a full structure and you know exactly what you're doing, but having it free flowing must have been even harder. Would you do it again that way?
No, because I like to change and to have new experiences. And I just finished a new project. It's a mix of mysterious and horror movie, so it's completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. So, sorry, what stage are you at with that new project? The script stage?
I just finished the script,
Yeah.
and there is I told you I live in Fuerteventura in
Yeah,
Canary
nice.
Island, and there is a small village called Tindaya, where there is a mountain like for the people malediction mountain,
Okay.
and with witch, and it's a legend, and so this is the beginning of my story to discover if this mountain is really malediction for people. So I built a big story
Around that.
in this village.
Nice. Fantastic. When are you hoping to shoot?
I don't know. I know I have to find the money, and so I will ask a subvention from the Canarias and also from Paris, where also I had many contacts.
Yeah. Yeah, a co-production could be pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. You're there. Good. Glad to hear it. Perfect. Thor, Mohammed, do you have any questions?
I think it's the malediction of the mountain and all that. It's a very great, a very good story of how that's how we started, right? That we didn't know anything. We were fearful about everything. thousands of years ago. So we attributed all, bad things to bad spirits and bad places. And these bad spirits and these bad places are inside us, uh, for the most part. Right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have to struggle to work with them to make ourselves better. And that would be a great. I mean, if you finish your
Yeah,
film, in that way to educate people that this is the past and there's a better way for your future.
exactly. And each time I want to learn, and I'm learning about the history of this island, the legend, the culture. So it's good to learn in the same
Absolutely.
time.
Yes, exactly.
Amazing. Thor, go for it.
I was really interested in, but you already touched upon it a little bit, but like with the voiceover and the structure. So I was wondering now when you told about it, like, did you know when you were at a country or like at location with the actors, did you know like this is gonna be one of the main parts of the story, or did you discover like after shooting?
I discover after the shooting, but when I was shooting, I knew it was interesting, very interesting, or not completely interesting. So, for example, when I arrived in Sri Lanka, the first night, it was a big drama because there were terrorist bomb
No.
attack. And so it was completely something I couldn't think before, and so I use this in my script also because it was actuality, it was news, and it was completely crazy because there were bombs in church, in hotels, and 200 people die. So when you arrive in a place like this and
Yeah.
something happen, it's very strong and triste, and so. But I knew this was a strong part in my movie.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Yeah. Any thoughts?
It's just really interesting to hear about all of your different films and all the different elements of all of them. They're very unique and different from each other, which has been really interesting.
Yeah. Any final thoughts from anyone before we end today's stream?
I think Liftoff is doing a great job to um, help filmmakers, reach out to the whole world via your very, unusual and great way of doing it through anchored in multiple great cities
Yeah.
of the world, which which are like retransmission stations.
Absolutely.
Effectively. So it's really I want to congratulate you and wish you all the best. And we are available, I personally, to help or collaborate in anything that you want to uh, do to make this great in platform that you have even greater.
Thank you, Mo. That means a lot, and it has been difficult over the last couple of months and years trying to sustain our festivals during the pandemic. And now that we're coming to the other side of it and the world has reopened, we will be back in all our live locations next year. So cannot wait. And then we have the finale this year, which is the Season Awards, which takes place in January, which will be happening at some point. And I'm very, very excited to finally be welcoming the award-winning films back to Pinewood. So lots happening here too. And yeah, I would just like to add to that. Thank you so much for joining today's stream and sharing all of your wonderful stories. We'd both like to wish you the best of luck with all your future projects. And please, please, please stay in touch. Keep us updated with what you're doing.
thank you.
And if there's any way that we can help in return, we'd love to do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
The best of luck
Take care.
to,
Thank you.
to all of you.
Thank
It was
you.
fun.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Likewise.
Bye bye.
Bye.